This brings me to one subject we're talking about in this current podcast that we do, which is digital versus analog. Do you do anything in terms of like handouts, flyers, anything like that? How do you see the digital world versus the analog world when it comes to instructing and being a faculty?
I love analog stuff, right? And I like to write with a pen on actually piece of paper. One of the projects we're doing is actually just all use analog signals instead of digital signals. I teach an analog course and a digital course actually. But in terms of instruction, like all that stuff you're just referring to, I prefer digital over analog because my course, not only me as a single instructor is teaching it. In the spring, I normally co-teach with another instructor and with 3 TAs because it's a required course and it has lab involved. And the next semester, I'm teaching it as a single professor with 2 TAs. Mm-hmm. So when you wanted to coordinate all those stuff with so many staff in the course, if you do paper, it's really hard.
Because paper gets lost and paper gets crumpled.
And it's hard to synchronize. Yeah. So for example, one tool is Gradescope that helped me, once again, thanks Stilly, helped me to bring all those tests and the lab reports and homework all integrated into one place. And when the TAs, they're taking turns to grade, the grades will not be biased by a specific TA because all the rubrics are normalized. Yeah. So that's something analog paper media couldn't do at all. And in terms of actual teaching classroom engagement, I use Poll Everywhere. See, I learned all of this from
Steely.
From Steely. Yeah. So Poll Everywhere is great. I just what's it called? My favorite one, Poll Everywhere has so many different polls. My favorite one is called the competition because it shows live who is on the top on the big screen, and in the end they give you a confetti for the
winner?
number for the winners. Yeah. And that's easier to do than handouts. Much easier to do than handouts.
So, but Poll Everywhere, how often do you use it?
I use it every single week in the beginning of the class as as a quiz, but it's actually not a quiz, just a fun way to remember, help the students remember what we have talked about last class, but it's not graded or anything. So I will say, hey, there is 3 circuits I will show on the Poll Everywhere and pick, the first one, the output is 0, the second one output is 5 volts, and the third one, you can't touch it because you burn it. And number 4 is, I just make up some random things, and I only gave them 20 seconds, another feature on Poll Everywhere. You have to use you can't just sit there and wait. Yep. There is a timer, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You just have to make a choice, and that's a wonderful, quick rule to get everybody, hey, class
engaged,
started, get focused.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not too pressured because it's not actually a quiz.
And it's anonymous at times. It could be anonymous in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a physics lecturer, do you use any kind of digital whiteboard in terms of equations, in terms of like what you're teaching, or do you use just a chalkboard?
Great questions. So this is my life over digital. That's my whole life. So I use iPad, and I use an app called GoodNotes, I use Apple Pencil. So I just what's it called? Air Media. So at least the classrooms in small, we have this integration of, computer, HDMI, whatever, and one is Air Media. So
Air Media, okay.
Yes, so you download the app of Air Media to the iPad, and then you, at least I use Apple or the products, so at least for iPad, you have a mirror screen function, and then when you mirror the screen, and it will ask you what is the IP code that the Air Media provided you, and it can be saved in the app, and then it will give you a specific code on the screen. Says in this section 8032. That's the code I used yesterday, and then it will be paired. So your iPad screen is paired with the big screen behind us, and then I just write.
And then are you able to save those? Are you able
Yes,
to save
that's
that?
the best thing about GoodNotes. Too bad that's not affiliated with Winimero anyway. Either another one is Notability or something. There are
Notability,
two.
yeah.
There are two very popular apps. So you can export the whole thing into a PDF file. So that's what I have been doing. Is number one, all the notes will be saved. And I can use whatever fancy color I choose. I choose indigo and light purple and yellow, by the way. And and then I upload the PDF to the Blackboard right away. So this way, not only the students will not be out of sync if I'm doing traditional PowerPoint slides, right? Because you will never know how fast you're going, so the students will never have time to take the notes because I'm writing as well, so they can be much quicker than me or much slower than me. So that's a good tempo. And number two is there are always reasons students cannot attend a class, and they will have notes. They don't have to go out of their way to ask their friends for notes. Their notes will be uploaded right after the class.
It's a direct to them.
Yes.
And that causes more engagement, more being a part of the class, even if you're not in the class.
Yes.
Yeah. Or if you can't attend. Two big questions, and then we're done. The one question is, how has digital, in general, the digital age, how you use digital apps in your courses, how has that changed in your career? Meaning, from the time you started teaching, which, you said it was like 7 years.
Well, I taught in Hampton University for about 10 years before I here. But I have always used digital. I never used, did I ever use a paper, a red pen to grade paper? Oh, yes, I did. Not much. Some of the homeworks, not much. Blackboard is around forever, so you can always upload your work there. I can see, even for my own perspective, is the analog media has its charm and it's very personalized and it's nice, but it's not effective as digital mediums. Every day you have so much work to done. We have to treat some of those things together just to get things done as effective and well done as possible. If I'm only teaching, say, 5 students, actually I do. That will be my research course. But then those has no homework to grade or exams to grade. So it's different. I would say. It changed because all those nice, tech companies, like Pull Everywhere or Gradescope, all those great software engineers think really creatively to make our life easier, and that's great for teaching a traditional course.
Does it increase the value of education, of how you teach? Do you think it makes it a more valuable experience for a student to go through more of a digital world?
I think it does, because I see less and less students are actually using traditional ways to even take notes. So it's much more integrated in their mind. And many students don't even, they're probably in their mind of, save trees to be more sustainable, just to go digital all the way. So it's almost like we're catching up to be synced with the Gen Z's lifestyle. So in that sense, I think it's definitely beneficial.
Okay, that's cool.